personally. I know he's played a lot of the Legion Commander and all that, but this also gives him a lot more the scaling potential and objective taking as well, because then you always amplify your other cores as well.
Right. The Legion is like one of his least teamfighty heroes in the offlane, for sure. And they are gonna go with the Omni. We can see a lot of effect if he uses the Omni Treant. This feels like a deja vu. I don't know. It's like I've seen this before. This Omni Treant combo.
Into Mag as well seems pretty good. The heal, the Guardian Angel versus these, which we're assuming is they're going to pick a lot of like physical carries.
Oh, four games in a row of Ursa.
4 in a row of Ursa.
Maybe there's something about the hero that we just don't know.
They do love it.
Yeah, he's a very strong laning core. Like you can just leave him alone against any offlaner. He's going to be perfectly fine. Sanking was actually one of the heroes that is much harder for Ursa to deal with.
And that was Sanking plus Warlock. I think that was a big thing why that last game did not go as well for the Ursa pick.
So now they know it's just going to be like an Omni most likely. Maybe a Treant might be there, but at least against an Omni he's going to be fine. There's going to be a lot of kill potential on him. But the Omni Guardian Angel, very good against the Magnus.
Yeah.
So you have something to protect your team with if he ever throws out the reverse polarity. Ogre banned out by VG, something that VP have been very well known to run, especially in some kind of dual lane mid situations. Very hard to deal with.
The Empower Bloodlust, don't want to have to deal with like the double empowering a hero up and just buffing him up.
And Treant is actually one of those supports that cannot go mid because you want to utilize his invisibility, and on mid lane there aren't really any trees there for him to sit around in.
Ban out the Weaver, yeah, just a hard matchup for Sierra, so just that really hard to catch up hero, but
yeah. I wonder if they're gonna respect the Lina again, because right now VGJ are sort of lacking their damage output, and Lina is like, what, Freeze played it the past couple games, he's done very well with it. I would really like to see them maybe go for that.
So they do still focus the Shadow Fiend ban. I think that's, I mean, probably No One's one of his best heroes, and I think like we all were kind of saying, I'd like to see No One on one of those kind of physical dealers and objective takers, especially if they're going to be taking the Ursa every single time. They need somebody who can take buildings.
I mean, VGJ ban it when there's a Magnus. Like, typically you're picking melee cores, but I think they recognize, hey, they struggled last game because they had no building hitter. Let's just ban out an SF even though they have Magnus.
Yeah, and last time VGJ played with the Omni Treant, they had Shadow Fiend themselves. So it's also like a hero that maybe they wanted themselves, but in this game, they just already have another idea or another plan as to what they want to pick.
They really like the Venge, as far as I've seen with the Omni and the Tree. It's pretty decent versus the Ursa.
The other hero they've done with this big team fight thing and against heroes like Ursa is the Medusa. That Medusa, Treant, Phoenix type draft, good against Ursa, pretty good against Magnus. And potentially could have a decent time in the mid lane. Well, I guess you don't quite know what your mid lane matchup's going to be yet. But
burning through a lot of their time for this one. Some teams do snap pick on the third pick, but this one is, they're trying to get a favorable matchup. They probably don't want to show their aggressive hero just yet, even though they do see the Ursa.
Wonder how Wyvern would be, since they have such physical damage heavy.
Do you like Wyvern with Treant as your two supports though?
It's not that good like in damage output, but they can definitely make up for it in the last two picks. Like if you can survive and you never die, you're always gonna be able to dish out damage, right? So if they would go along those lines, then it can work.
Well, with the
Venge, okay.
Yeah,
So
they go for the Venge again.
this is actually 3 out of 5 of the last heroes that they picked. In the last time when they opened like Omni Treant, or had Omni Treant in the lineup. So Omni Treant, Venge, they had Phantom Assassin and Shadow Fiend. Obviously Shadow Fiend banned out this time. Gonna have to go for something else.
And still showing some flexibility because Venge can be like core or support.
Right.
So it doesn't even give VP the info like, all right, we're up against a core Venge. They don't know for sure yet.
Is CM still open?
It's very important when you're second pick that you're constantly hiding heroes. Oh, a point for Paul here. There's Crystal Maiden.
Got him.
Yeah. Maybe he's the real professional
He needs to
analyst.
start doing predictions for all of us.
No, thank you. cannot comprehend the responsibility of that.
Yeah, just again, another hero that doesn't really give any information. Like, these teams, they're in a very nerve-wracking situation. They don't really want to show anything.
Yeah.
So oftentimes they will just pick a hero. Maybe it's not the best hero for the situation, but just something that can hide. And just keep trying to get some information. Someone has got to crack first, right?
It also does give them like magic team fight as well with the freezing field. It makes them have to prioritize a stun and disable on the CM in those situations. Great versus Guardian Angel.
And now VGJ got the Lina.
They got their Lina.
Freeze Lina.
We were talking about the talent decisions were a little bit different from what we've seen at this tournament in the last game.
Yeah, the level 15 leading talent can be either the respawn time or the damage. Yesterday we saw SG Sports have a lot of success with the damage talent on Lina. Scaling into the late game last game, we thought maybe would have been the preferred option on the Lina compared to the respawn time.
Wasn't like dying all over the place and didn't
you
really make any use of it.
And late game, the life stealer falls off a lot, so you want to have that Lina dishing out damage, and plus 50 damage when you're attacking as fast as you are with a dataless is a massive difference in your physical damage output, but can't really question him and got the win, so
Yep, worked out.
I think both talents are amazing is the thing. It's like hard to decide sometimes.
It's a very safe way of going, isn't it?
The respawn,
Yeah.
yes.
Wonder if they're gonna go for the Templar here, just to counter the Lina right now, since
Yeah.
yeah, and if they do that, there's still the option that VG can have the Lina as a support. It's not bad paired with the Venge in the lane,
That's true. That is a good
and
point.
it is a lot of damage output for just from a support, so I don't mind it. Let's see what VP are gonna. And to be honest, I'm still favoring this Templar Assassin in this tournament. It still has a very high win.
Very
rate.
high win.
It seems like teams need to prioritize it more because we always get to this like last pick and it's like TA is last band, and then you can't pick TA into that Lina or whatever it may be.
So they take the Rubik. So it's like they're saying that Rubik is more important than our actual last pick, or they just ran out of time and they need to buy a bit more time to understand what they want to pick for the mid lane.
They still have 37 seconds, so
Yeah,
Right.
but it's very good versus like the Omni Knight, right? Like
Yeah,
you can get the
it
spells
is.
from the Omni if you can get repel.
And the
It's
Treant.
very
Actually,
good.
all
Yeah,
four
the
heroes
spells.
you can get.
Great spells.
Very good
Very
spells.
good spells, yeah.
Lil loves this Rubik as well. He
Yeah.
hasn't played it in a bit, though. I actually feel like I haven't seen him play it in quite a while. But
Sniper
so.
ban. All
Just in
right.
case.
Yeah, Sniper can lane well against the Lina.
And for late game, if they have Shockwave, they have like a CM Aura, they have Fade Bolt and everything for
Very
high ground
yeah.
defense. Yeah, it could be
Very difficult.
Does
very
leave the
good.
TA open though.
Guess they're less worried about the laning phase and the whole objective kind of thing as the game for VG.
is there any chance Mag goes mid? They did that in one of their Magnus games. You guys think they consider that at all?
That's a good point. It
Can
could be a
happen.
possibility.
But laning against a Lina, though, that sounds rather rough.
Not good, that's for sure.
Terrorblade banned out. So
So
they
they
are
do
gonna
go for
go
the
to
TA,
TA.
yeah.
Alright. So it just seems like they respected the Rubik more for their team. They're like, okay, we definitely need to get Rubik in this game. Like, I really want this here. TA, maybe we can replace it. So that was most likely the thought process.
They're going to need some diffusal on the TA and even the Ursa probably versus the GA. Pretty physical dependent cores. But
We will definitely see it Ursa with the
yeah,
He went
diffusal
in,
here.
yeah, both games yesterday against the Omni Knight.
yeah.
So.
It's very powerful damage outputting item.
What's the carry though? I mean, illusions would be great for burning refraction, but
So
they're
yeah,
gonna have
PA.
They actually, that's
Stick to it.
4 out of 5
That's
of them
4 out of
similar.
5 of the
Yeah.
heroes, yep.
Interesting.
And it's not that bad, right? Because it's all physical damage from VP's side. They have to get to this Monkey King Bar or
Yeah.
what's the
Bloodthorn.
Bloodthorn, right,
yeah.
right. To try and counter this PA. And this repelled PA is going to be very powerful.
Okay, let's do some predictions, gods. Just understand the responsibility that is currently in your hands.
Don't worry, I got you.
This is nerve
Yeah,
wracking.
just, guys,
Yeah,
please,
go ahead,
Please
go
just
ahead.
Go.
change.
I already got mine chosen, so.
I'm gonna stick with who I think. So I feel VP. I think the Ursa versus the Omni Knight is a much better matchup. Ursa's not going to get contested as much. I think this time around VP have much better lanes in draft.
Okay, Fogder's already gone for Virtus Pro.
Come on, production. Give me a break. But I was going to go VP, but like, let me at least say
it doesn't really matter, right? You're right.
I just wanted to say a bit why really quickly. Just I
Okay.
think that they have really interesting picks, and I think that the damage output from VGJ is a bit limited.
Okay.
I'm gonna sacrifice my prediction
Okay.
for the sake of everyone.
Okay.
All right.
Taking one for the
I'm going
team.
with VGJ.
Okay. Good stuff. You've fallen on your sword well there,
Man
sir.
of the people.
He saved us all potentially from something far worse. 1 for VGJ, 2 for Virtus Pro. And reminder, Virtus Pro are on their last life here. They have to win this one to stay in the Kiev Major on home soil. Let's head back to your commentary team for Game 2.
You can hear it, Sin. Virtus Pro, indeed. They've gotten the names right. They're ready for Game 2, and VP certainly needs the support of the home crowd here. They trail VG Gaming J 0-1 in the best of 3.
And this is a totally different draft all around. I mean, VGJ, they get the Omni Knight for ROTK that they've had great success with. They're running like this extremely heavy support lineup around their PA from Aggressive. I think we did see that in the group stage once, I want to say, that Aggressive really took off on this PA. One hero we were talking about could have been cool here would have been a potential Phantom Lancer, actually, which no one seems to think is good. I think sometimes it's a good 10th pick. Could have definitely had its place in this game, knowing that it's aggressive on the carry role. That's why I was even thinking of it.
Yeah, so, I mean, certainly used to be an aggressive staple, even if the hero has fallen off a bit. And when the TA last pick came out, it felt a little bit sweeter, but not the way they opt to go here. So on paper, could be a really good PA game. You've got incredible support, as you mentioned. It's also, in theory, a good matchup against VP's heroes, who are incredibly reliant on physical damage. You know, eventually maybe a Silver Edge or MKB comes out. They don't really have anyone to build a Bloodthorn naturally. I guess TA could go for one potentially, but up until you get those big items, a PA with Repel is difficult for this team to bring down.
Absolutely. The Ursa versus PA matchup is a little bit special, however. In theory, it sounds like it's great against Ursa because you miss all the time. But the thing is, missed attacks don't bring down the overpower counter. So you just keep hitting until you get 6 hits. It will take a while. Statistically, about 12 hits when you have Max Blur.
Ooh.
EU math right there. You wouldn't know. Yeah. Okay.
Someone has not been enjoying the local beverages.
Yeah.
Nearly enough. You're doing math, Sind?
Yeah.
Come on.
That's me. You know me, David. Well, we've talked a bit about VGJ's picks. Let's look at VP here as well. So they get a very good matchup mid for no one. I think this matchup is less good than it used to be. The TA versus Lina. Lina with the attack range buff and just the overall change of how the lane is played, and with the Shrine seems to be doing better against TA, but it's still a lane that TA enjoys. Bottom lane, they're going to run the Rubik and Ursa. This has been VP's go-to hero against Omni Knight, by the way. Ursa every time to just match him in lane. It's one of the heroes that can beat him. Of course, this time there is the X factor of Treant and also the Venge.
So FY on the Venge, I mean, to me, like, yeah, there's a lot of differences with the draft, but I think the biggest difference is he's not really on a hero that can just take a game over like Monkey King. You can make big plays with swap, but you're unlikely to like roam a lot early and just carry the game. If anything, like Treant Protector is a little bit more of that hero that can have the big roaming impact, but it is Fenrir playing the lumbering tree, at least for now. So I'm curious to see, can VG Gaming pick up the slack elsewhere?
Well, the top lane isn't going to be too easy for the Magnus, I would say. You know, PA has pretty good...
Does PA just win this matchup flat out, you would say 1v1?
I'm thinking twice. It's probably pretty even, but PA has the Shrine. That's always the thing you need to consider when it's a one-on-one and one team's off lane. So I would give a slight edge to Aggressive here, simply for that reason. But Mag is definitely going to be finding his farm. He will have to Flask already, though.
The other thing that will work here in VP's favor is they get that nice 1v1, but bottom lane, they're going to move on to Fenrir initially. Does drop the leech seed, but he's caught out, and that Uve ain't going to help him as he ends up getting denied by the neutral. Oh, that hurts. Ramses is like, get the hell out of here, you stupid wild kid. Creeps MVP of the day. What is that, like the 3rd or 4th time we've seen neutral to die today? That's painful stuff for VP, but... I mean, what I was going to say is this mid lane should be very favorable for no one. We actually saw, I think it was the 5th ban last game that Vici removed the TA to avoid this matchup, but no one gets his hands on it this time. And so far going okay for Freeze, but we have seen TAs, once they get like towards that level 5 to 7 territory, really start to bully and threaten for kills against Lina.
Yeah, but then you just reach.
But you have living armor is the other thing.
You reach level 15 and get a respawn talent, and then it doesn't matter. Whatever happened previously in the game
Why
doesn't
do you think
matter.
Freeze likes Lina so much? Classic.
Anyway, laning stage looking really even in these first 3 minutes. I think VGJ are really accomplishing what they were hoping for by protecting their Omni Knight against this Ursa this well. Oh, bottom lane, he's actually in trouble here. So much damage.
Ramsey's in deep, and with that Oof slow, just a little bit more from RTK. They don't quite have the firepower to bring him down. They turn back for Lil, and even the Rubik takes a while, but eventually will fall, and that is indeed, it shouldn't be, but it is, the first blood of the game. VG Gaming, well, they won't be able to prevent this Shrine heal, but the damage has been done. The Wave of Terror comes in, just doing a bit of scouting. I mean, really, Sin, it is the dream laning stage for them. They get the first blood. With this lineup, you need a farm PA. Aggressive is free farming the highest CS in the game right now. Top, not able to really stop Pasha, but having a good time early, not being pressured. And Freeze even doing surprisingly well against the TA. Did already have to hit the Shrine relatively early, which no one scouted, but yeah, great laning stage so far. What can VP do to change it up? Looks like they're going to try to rotate top.
Yeah, they have to lane swap. I think this is the right choice. The problem is, when you're running an aggressive tri-lane and the enemy team gets to pull and you don't win by using Shrine, you failed your mission in that lane.
Oh, Aggressive, really smart choice of dagger target there. As he slows down Ramsey's the one hero that was required to get in range to finish him off. So he survives the rotation. As we'll see, FY sees this opportunity to grab a bounty rune, stealing that away. The regen going to Freeze. That rune definitely going to help keep him in stable condition here in the middle lane as he begins to chip away at no one a little bit. Finds the stun. Follow-up Slave is there. Good damage. Still no one waiting on that bottle. So
yeah,
overall, lane's going well.
Shrine has already been used by no one here. And yeah, mid lane is just breaking even here. It's kind of... That's what I was saying. In the past, this lane would be dominated by TA, especially no one is one of the best mechanical laners in mid lane.
And TA has probably been like his most go-to hero of the tournament, I would say.
At least one of them. He is very, very good at playing TA. So if he's breaking even against Lina, it tells the story of how this matchup really has changed. In the past, you would often see this TA once hitting level 3 just start doubling up Lina's CS. Some games. Not the case here, though.
Yeah, and there is also like the X factor of potential living armor to make that lane even tougher. So definitely not a lane, not the normal 1v1 that you'd be hoping for. So no one.
So VP have lane swapped here, and no one has gone a bit into the jungle. Will be taking some fairly substantial tower damage as a result.
Two range creeps hitting that tower.
This top lane is...
Uh-oh. FY's there to reveal it. He's actually going to spring the trap. Going right onto Lil. They get the bash from Fenrir out of the invis. Easy and decisive takedown. And now Aggressive looking for more. He is going to dagger onto Solo. They pursue, but Ramses is there. And the bear will protect his maiden, at least for now.
Nice fanfiction, LD.
That's only when Toby's cast.
Another Toby moment, but this time from LD, not from OD Pixel.
Oh god, I've been hanging out in the green room too much. Might look for the dive here though, Sin. You can see Fenrir really wants to go for it. He is set up to the right of the tower, and FY just perched in position. But they've got to suspect he's in the neighborhood. Actually, there's a sentry. They see the aggression of FY, and they know that Fenrir is nearby, so VP with some fantastic game sense will punish that.
It's very important for VP to just start getting a little bit of wind in this game. They lost the lanes overall, I would say. They need the Ursa to be involved in kills so that he can start finding more farm. VGJ's lane adjustments have been, in my opinion, completely ideal this game. They've run the perfect lanes, and I think in part we're just seeing this experience from FY and Fenrir as a duo. Have always
here comes the rotation though. It's on to Freeze in the mid lane. No one moving in position. Stun off the mark. Slave will connect, and then Solo goes down anyway. Ooh. Well, they get the kill. An overall, I suppose, about even with the smoke and a core for a support trade, but still, nothing coming easy for VP here in the lanes.
Well, if you're Freeze, you're probably pretty happy there. I thought he was just going to die and nothing else was.
And Laguna's such a low cooldown. Like
yeah,
you come back and you'll probably have the Laguna up before the next fight breaks out.
For sure. So you just go for this play.
It just reminds me of that Was it? I forget which video it was, but like the old highlight where the Lina misses the stun, misses the slave, and then gets the. Was that from Shitty Digest? I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was Crocodiners. Oh man, I wish he
Whatever
still
happened
made those.
to that guy?
I wish he still made those. He's been making number 5 for 4 years now. Hopefully it comes out next Monday.
Someday. In a galaxy far, far away, he's already up to 400, but not this one.
Yeah. So is VGJ going to just keep this up? As it looks so far, with the lane adjustments they've made, FY and Fenrir have pretty much been going hand in hand the whole game. They've managed to still maintain this good level of farm.
FY just keeping that pressure up onto Ramses, and the Laguna is indeed online. Oh, CM trying to slow things down. They maybe find another kill. Big pressure from VG, completely changing up the tempo as they dive onto Lil. Behind the tower, VP getting a taste of their own aggression from game 1 and getting punished for it. Lil almost sure to fall to the wrath of the PA. Moves into the lane, and well, the trade-off has to come elsewhere. No one trying to push in mid. Nobody contesting RTK bottom, who says, great, I'm building a Midas, and I'm going to play my more standard in this patch style of 3 position.
Yep. Finally, Magnus will show up, but Omni Knight has a pretty big advantage here and might even want to try to pressure this Magnus. He has a 1,300 net worth advantage on him right now, actually.
How does VP get back into its in? Because this looks, I mean, the gold, like the graphs aren't that bad, but it feels like on paper they're really going to struggle to deal with a farm PA given the heroes they have.
Yeah, the main way of doing this is just try to maximize farm, take advantage of Empower, get your Ursa into the game, make sure that Ramses is finding something. He's currently level 6 with only these 43 CS. It's not abysmal, but it's not fantastic either. Keep him farming, keep the TA farming, and hit that spike when TA has the Deso, something needs to happen. They get the Deso. A fight into Roche would be the way back into the game. I don't think small skirmishes are likely to work.
VG aren't going to wait that long, though, as they find Ramses. They won't even give him a chance to enrage. Deleted. Things working out beautifully. For VG Gaming, at least. Not so much for VP. And now rolling onto a tower. Again, like I can't stress enough, this tempo is such a change-up for VG, who have shown much more of a propensity to farm, generally to play more passively, go for like mid to late game timings, build early Midas. And they do that with RTK this game, as he is well on his way to one. But the rest of the team showing that old school FY Fenrir dual roam action and making it work.
And that's 2 towers down. I would imagine the bottom tower's on the menu soon enough. Nice damage onto the mag. Good RP here.
Oh, he does RP, but away from the tower, and it's
he
only
can
a defensive
die,
RP. Aggressive, now charging in, trying to find the fault. The dagger comes in. That's a big dive. They're going to go for it, though. It looks like the jump on Lil's about to happen. None. He commits, gets the crit, gets the kill, survives for now. RTK can keep him alive with the heal coming through. The living armor, too. They're going to go for Pasha as well. Huge dive from FY. No one there forced to rotate to try and turn this thing around. They all stay in fighting condition. RTK now in pretty far. He's about to get the repel. There's no real chase mechanism here as no one is going for the Deso. Doesn't have the blink yet, so a clean disengage from VG Gaming. Oh, that's scary when they can just dive you at will like that and get away scot-free.
Omni Knight made that possible.
Excellent analysis.
Yep, thank you very much. He cast his spells and they stayed alive.
But seriously, it's just they don't have great solutions for the PA when she's getting heals, repels. There is not all that much burst damage to combo with the RP. So, you know, to your point, Omni Knight is just the Omni Knight PA duo is just going to be a huge problem for VP moving forward.
Speaking of Omni Knight, it's actually massively surprising for me to see him not skill Guardian Angel when we talk about just how good their physical damage output is on the VP side. They didn't need it there. They could have been in a position where that would have been great. I think RTK was holding onto a skill point on level 8 just in case. And now he feels confident after that play. Okay, if we can get away with that, we don't need my ulti. I'm just going to skill 4 in Degenora instead. So currently not sitting on a skill point should a fight break out for the GA.
And like, if fights start to go bad, you're just screwed because you're never running away from a PA with Repel, with the level 4 Degenar. And it's also, I think, worth mentioning, it really hampers Ursa and TA in fights. These are heroes that need to chase. They don't have the best range. You know, we don't see a Lina or a Shadow Fiend on the VP lineup this game, so Degenar this game is more of a problem than in a lot of other cases.
Absolutely. It's worth maxing here for sure over Repel, I would say, this type of game. You just need the Repel to basically either take off a TA trap or take off Frostbite. Those are the main benefits. If you get RP'd, you know, doesn't really matter. Maybe you can counterplay Skewer with it as well if you're really quick. But any level of repel will manage to do that. Solo is
in all kinds of trouble. This VP support duo has not been living a very charmed life. Is aggressive, sees an easy bucket of gold, and he shall collect it. FY coming in just to look for that follow-up kill. Not happening. 7-2 Sind. VP. Well, we've heard the Na'Vi chants. They might need that old Na'Vi magic to turn this game around, because in the mid lane, no one's going to get caught out too. With ROTK here, the Laguna committed. Do they have detection? Doesn't look like it. They'll just stun the ground again, and they'll retreat. So
good steal from low.
Able to get away.
I want to say this is the only reason they picked Rubik. It's a great pick against Omni Knight. Stealing Purification is such a high impact spell. Guardian Angel is a high impact steal. The Repel, all of Omni's spells are amazing to get as Rubik. Also, against Overgrowth, can make for some good counterplays.
Omni's generally here you're very happy to see as a Rubik, at least in a vacuum.
Yeah.
VG Gaming will move into the Roche pit here, and they get to work on the Rockman. Do we see VP consider a contest? They're low on mana here for Pasha. He's going to have to go all the way back to base. He is about 40 gold away from the blink, but they're hesitating. He might be able to come back and debut the blink RP. They're also going to have Deso. This could be a very big power spike for VP, especially since Vici seemed indecisive about walking into the pit.
This is the moment they were waiting for. These two items.
Almost the Vlads as well.
Exactly. They would have loved to have that as well, but he's going to get it now from this wave. They're probably going to let him pick that up, and then we will see them smoke more than likely, looking for a fight. If that fight is successful, they can get Roche. If they don't get to smoke in time, however, will not get the Roche. But
they do have a lane ward mid. I think they may have seen Pasha walk out with the blink.
Fenrir is just fully visible walking through the lane there. This should not come as a surprise to VP at all, where VGJ are posted up.
So after all that build-up, no climax, not yet anyway, but Vici trying to force the issue. They go back to the pit. They do reveal RTK mid, but a very difficult target to bring down. They only have the RP to keep him in place when that repel's online, and the Roshan shall commence now. VP not really showing signs of a contest as of yet. They just leave the Ursa mid to shove out the lane. The Roche down to almost half HP already. Do we see that smoke up? They are going to make their move. VP surging towards the pit. Do they get here in time? FY out in front. He will scout things out as the observer on the high ground. He reveals Ramses. He's happy to sacrifice his life if that's what it takes, and he gets the stun, and it's on the Meg. Huge catch, keeping Pasha away, but the Roche isn't dead yet. CMO getting dropped solo with the zoning play, and now the RP. After it all, he waits, and into the waiting side blades. No one will strike. Fights for VP, pulling it out of the hat. ROTK. It's going to be 5, maybe? Not quite, but they'll take the Roche too. Oh, it looked good initially for Vici, but Sind, where was the follow-up damage?
I think Vici also seemed a little bit indecisive there. Moving the Venge out is a good play to secure the Roche, but they completely gave up on the Roche. If Venge is there buying time, they can at least finish the Aegis and then see what they can play from there. But they got scared and backed off and just sacrificed their Venge for absolutely 0 gain. You're going to see it here. They're backing off. He's stuck here. He can't get saved by the Omni Knight. There's already a 4-on-5. This Overgrowth is great, but the damage isn't there. Lina can't connect in. And now Magnus with this beautiful RP skewer, even getting the invisible Treant in it as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch the play again, it's clear there were 2 different calls. FY's call was, I'm going to stall, you guys finish Roche. The rest of the team was like, no, let's just back and reset and then try and take a fight. And they didn't have time to. They got punished for it. So not often you see a team with that many veteran players not on the same page, I would say, though perhaps some strong competing heads in the room. In any case, hard to know. It is all speculation, but does not work out for Vici.
And at the end of the day for VGJ as well, you need to consider, you know, this is the condition that VP can come back in the game on, is getting into the Roche pit. So I understand their desire to take Roche so VP can't do it, but maybe the better approach is play map control, make sure you have vision, and then if VP try to go for it, you counterplay them. This is basically serving a better opportunity that VP could have found for themselves for a Roshan that they weren't really that fast at taking. I mean, it's great, you've got a PA and a Vengeful Spirit with her aura and the minus armor, but the PA is not that strong yet. She's level 9. The Roche took forever. And VP got so much out of this. This is a huge swing. It's about 6K on gold and experience in just the blink of an eye. And now they're not going to let go on the pressure. 2-shot by Noah bottom lane. Didn't even use his DD. Might have been a 1-shot.
Yeah, remember when we were laning 1v1 and you thought you were getting the better of me? That time is over, says no one. That's scary. The blink already picked up to go with that Desolator. Now 1,000 gold in the bang as well. And the crowd behind them, VP, surging into position. They move towards the mid-tier 1 and systematically look to dismantle the outer perimeter of VG Gaming structures. This tower soon to fall mid. Fenrir does drop the sentry, but he walks into one. In doing so, gets caught, swings that big paw of his, but quickly falls, and now the tower even more exposed, even less protected. FY also going to be scouted out here by the trap, and now gets the slow. The blink forward from Ramses. Commitment as ROTK finds himself in too deep. He's going to fall, and he also gives up the level 1 repel. VP in full-on bloodlust. They dive towards Freeze. They kill him again. It's completely crumbling. VG Gaming being dove even further. They're going to die under the tier 3 towers before the tier 2 has even taken a dent. Well, VG Gaming, talk about a quick collapse. And not done yet. FY might also drop. Could have dove for him, but not even worth it.
And they still have the Aegis on Ramses, who's now building his Diffusal Blade. All of these advantages that VGJ built up are just out of the window.
I mean, it's very tempting when you find kills like that. You have the DD rune on TA to just start chipping away at mid, but despite the roaring crowd, they recognize there are tier 2s. There's still a lot of room to grow. We have the Magnus. We can take this later, and they are going to slow things down now, back off, and start looking for some follow-up items.
No one is just so far ahead. It's absurd how much net worth he's accrued to this game. That's what happens if you let a Templar Assassin go uncontested for a while. So VGJ had good laning. They were doing a great job. The Roche pit fight, one moment pretty much has put VP in a really good spot in this game now. So now the tables have turned. It's VP who can play super aggressively. We already saw it in the mid lane. Kind of needs to make a big mistake to bring back VGJ in the game. There's just this huge influx of items. Almost got a full pike now completed on no one. The Diffusal Blade will come out for Ursa fairly soon as well. They have something to deal with the Guardian Angel, which, by the way, have we even seen it cast this game? I don't.
Has he even skilled it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Had to double check there. No, we haven't felt the impact of the Omni Knight in the larger team fights. It was in the early skirmishes where he really did a lot. And, you know, speaking of other cores on this Vici team, we saw a lot from Freeze last game, but this game he went for the early Yules, paid off in the early engagements. Now he wants to go back for a Ghost Scepter. The problem is, Sind, Ramses is about to complete a Diffusal Blade in short order, so how much mileage will he really get out of this Ghost Scepter? That's really the question.
The other problem is he gets 2-shot by TA, so he needs to be fast.
And his name is Freeze, so
yeah.
I don't know.
So, really fast.
Don't fall asleep. Well, P-Flax was talking about the good old days and us old fogies. Don't take a nap, Sind. We still got Dota to be played here. VP looking to press the tempo. They are going to siege this tier 1 top. They bring it down, and they rock forward looking for more. Hurricane Pike available in the stash for no one. Not that he necessarily needs it. They are going to dive here. They commit onto FY, that bench, and I wouldn't even say she's in deep. She's just in the vague vicinity of VP and gets slaughtered for it.
And the problem is here, even if VGJ were to hold, everything we talked about with the draft, with all of this physical resistance by having Omni Knight and all. Wait a second, Solo's actually going to find aggressive.
Aggressive. He may be thinking he can just get an easy CM pickup, but not the case. Lifted up, drop back down into the Bear Claws. Another death. VG Gaming continued to self-destruct VP. It's all started with that Roche fight, and the hits just keep on coming.
And I would imagine we're going to see no one go for an MKB next. He's already so far ahead. I don't think he needs a BKB just now in this game. Can just play on refraction. And if he finds the PA in the fight, he can solo her. He can just blink Pike. If he has an MKB, she dies. There's and the only response is Omni Knight.
And you're talking about these big items like an MKB, and there's really no counterplay for it. And for Vici, no farm in sight, no early Bloodstone for Lina, slowing down her item progression. We haven't seen, you know, a Midas pickup on either the Vici supports. They are unlikely to get one anytime soon. The Omni Knight, who once in a while we've seen the Radiance build, that's not happening. And PA, not really a great flash farmer. So if you're not getting kills, you're losing these fights. You talked about how well TA can farm. On the flip side, VG Gaming not very good at farming their way back into the game.
Absolutely not. TA will be continuing her farming spree with a BKB. It was between that and MKB in my opinion. Taking a bit safer route, fair enough. Doesn't want to give his life away. He's a very valuable killer right now. RP.
And the commitment. The hate for RTK continues. It started with the draft in game 1. They are even going to see a Venge illusion here. They'll make short work of that. Well, meanwhile, Aggressive. Hello. Solo giving him a little fireworks display. And now maybe going to catch him out. The dagger's there. The Frostbite comes through. Rooting him in position. Does get the Urn up and tries to rejoin the team, but it's going to walk right over a TA trap. Well, the tree will wait here. Maybe hoping just a Solitary Hero rotates in, but this crowd is really feeling it right now.
It's hard to find a bright side for VGJ right now because of how difficult it is to get themselves into a good fight.
Do you feel like
Fenrir almost died to 2 cleaves from the side blades. No one didn't even know he was there.
And now going to find Freeze. He almost got 2 for nothing. Oh, quick picks.
Nice go set for Freeze. He didn't have it, but did he change his mind?
He's changed his mind quite a few times this game, and I think that that speaks just to the state of the game where you're desperate to find that one item that can turn things on their head. But first of all, just farming those items is a tall task, and secondly, I don't know if any of those items are really going to be enough. It feels like it's just going to take some big misplays from VP. Do you see VG Gaming just being able to turtle up and even take the site? Do they have a shot with
Anything
the disadvantage they're at?
can happen to Virtus Pro in the enemy team's base. Anything. There's been mysterious things happening around the opponent base.
It's like the Bermuda Triangle of Dota.
Yes, exactly. Suddenly you go and your heroes just disappear. Where did we go?
Blame Ice Frog.
We've seen it in the past. VP has become a way more reliable and stable team when it comes to sieging high ground, have generally make better decisions, but sometimes we see the over-aggression.
All right, Sind, I know that you put a little money on VG, but really you don't have to curse them that hard. Okay.
David, I don't like when you say these things because some people actually believe it.
For the record, Sind did not bet on this game.
On this game? Now you make it sound like I bet on other games. What's wrong?
You said it, not me.
You implied it.
You're reading too deep into this.
LD.
Touche. All right, so VG are going to smoke here. They'll make the rotation down towards bottom. VP, confident push. They do have a Shadow Blade up on Pasha. He might be able to initiate, set things up. There's a Radiant Sentry Ward, but they're not going to walk close enough to it. They see the Ursa. More importantly, they get eyes on the Mag. That is a good way to start the fight. They drop the Sentry as well. And they're going to pull him back in. He just skewers off to the left. He will get stunned by the Tree Bash. They get the kill. They live to tell the tale.
It is something.
For a second there, I was kind of thinking they'd go on the Ursa and the Mag would just come in and hit a 4-hero RP. But
he actually had a moment of opportunity.
Yeah.
There was a brief moment when he went for the skewer that he could have got a great RP, but I think good decision not to go for it. The backup wasn't there from his team, and they just sacked this one hero. It's not too big of a deal for VP to lose their Mag. As long as TA is farming this hard, these kills don't actually matter that much.
Well, I don't know if we're going to see that MKB. No one just going straight for the Orchid and
this could be
going
bad
for the Roche sneak here.
VGJ.
VG Gaming committing for this, but Solo's there. He's aware of it, and no one comes into the pit. Drops the BKB. Is going to be, for now, locked down and dealt with, as RTK will deploy the Guardian's Angel to try and keep the team in fighting shape. Fenrir already committing the overgrowth as they lunge forward. Do they have the damage to bring down? Ramsey's low, but not dead yet. No one. Still cleaning up. Still slaughtering VP. Fine 3, and now another Roche will be there as Vici rolling the dice. Kind of a desperation Roshan.
Excellent overgrowth steal by Lil. He's like, nice spell. I'm gonna use it better than you. Got a 4-man overgrowth, I think, there, Lil, on the Rubik. And that's pretty much sealed the deal. It was a nice attempt from VGJ. They knew they had the numbers. Mag was dead. But of course, the TA trap in position gives VP a great read, and what a nice freezing field from Solo. Forced them out of the pit. He was in an excellent position there, setting up the rest of his team for success.
And last game, we've seen like a tale of two Crystal Maidens. Last game was just the worthless, you know, has a bad start and just feeds the whole game. See, in this game, huge impact, even going later into the game, 27 minutes.
Freeze is standing on a TA trap.
No,
it was said way earlier by no one. Not again. One, two.
It's going to take maybe 4 here. Goes for the stun. And does make it out. Close call, though, as Lil came in, but does not have the blink picked up yet, or that would be a dead freeze.
That extra health from Bloodstone paying off. Doesn't lose the charges. He's already down to 8, however, in that. This TA has higher net worth than the 2 top enemy cores combined. So no one needs to screw up massively to drop this game on the floor right now. Almost has a full Bloodthorn now if he wants to buy it. Can buy the Orchid component already if he wants to. Not really sure what he's waiting for.
And when the TA's that far ahead of a Phantom Assassin, then you start to worry, like, will Aggressive even be relevant in fights? I suppose the Omni Knight is the X factor here to try and keep him safe, but
the Bloodthorn, that's the Bloodthorn.
You've got a Diffusal Blade on Ramses.
Yeah, Bloodthorn is nice here, not only because, of course, he breaks the evasion of the PA, but it gives him the option to choose between that and Sounds Like Omni. Here we go, though.
Are you sure you want to do that? He swaps no one in. No one says, great, I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. Lays out 3 and looks for the 4th, jumping onto Aggressive, forcing him back towards the well. Yeah, that was an ambitious swap, and one that did not pay off. Still has BKB, still has Aegis. They continue to dive for VG Gaming. Sensing opportunity, they turn back for the tower, but any moment, you know, they are prepped, poised to lunge in for additional kills. They'll take down the bottom lane of Raxus. VP could potentially just rotate straight on mid. The creeps have already arrived. What looked like a VG Gaming favored start has quickly devolved into a VP slaughterhouse. They're going to bring down that mid tier 3 too. Any moment now, if they want, they can go for these kills, but it's the objectives they focus on. As you mentioned, Sin, a lot more discipline nowadays. Initially, overgrowth, but not really a whole lot of follow-up here as FY is going to get caught out, ends up going down, and now Ramses charging forward, immediately purging off the Guardian's Angel, makes short work of RTK, brings down 2, raining down the celebratory Crystal Maiden on VP will demolish VG Gaming. Sub 30 minutes, decisive victory here. After a shaky start, they pull it together. And another Game 3 is incoming. Maybe the most we've ever had at a Valve event, at least like per game.
Pretty much seems to be the story of this tournament, that there isn't always the comeback game when we go into Game 3. VP seemed to learn some important lessons from game number 1 and are applying them here. No one. 921 GPM on TA. He almost broke the 1,000 mark on the 0, playing the perfect game. And we were praising VGJ for great laning decisions.